One of the things that I understand that is really a problem within our community is ethnic image. Ethnic image is very, and I say very, underrated within our community. All right. There are four things because we're talking about queens today. All right. Understand. I understand that, yeah, men have their problems. But let me tell you something. It's almost like I came out the womb hearing this phrase, men ain't ish. All right. We have been beat down for so long within this country. Both genders have, but we have within our own community have been beaten down by women so bad to where it's like, OK, what's new? We've always said men ain't ish and they need to get their stuff together. But there was a woman in the 1980s, I don't want to mention her name, who came out with a book and said that our women, our black women, are one of the most under scrutinized women on the face of the earth, because we never hold them accountable and say, hey, what do they need to do to get better? What do they need to clean up? We're always looking at the men and saying what they need to do, but we never highlight the women and say what they need to do. All right. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. All right. I'm gonna keep it a buck. A lot of men have got their stuff together. All right. Single, childless, middle class, this, that, and the other. All right. The problem is it's the men that you keep selecting. And so if you keep selecting 16% of the men out of the 100, you're always going to end up with a knucklehead. All right. It's like 84% of the women select 16% of the men, but then they look at the rest of the 84% of the men and say, oh, all of y'all are just like the 16%, when that's not the case. So without further ado, we're actually going to talk about ethnic image. 4 things that will disqualify you as a queen. Yeah, she said, I was wondering what that meant. Yeah, that's what that meant. That's exactly what that meant. She takes no prisoners. But listen, 4 things that will disqualify you as a queen. Number 1, the words that come out of your mouth. The words that proceed out of your mouth. All right. We were at the grocery store the other day, and there was a woman. She's saying to be, I don't know, in her 30s, maybe late 20s or something like that. Right. And she had some kids with her. All right. It was her and another woman or whatever. Looked like she could be her friend or whatever. And they had bonnets on. We're going to get to that here in a minute. But they had kids with them. And the kids were no older than, and I talked about this last week, all right? And I hinted to it because I was going to talk about it more today. The oldest kid was like a girl. She was like 5. And the boy looked like he was 3. And the other one, there was another boy looked like he was around her same age, around 3 or so. And the way, because I didn't see who the woman was talking to, but I heard this hard cussing. I mean, it was hard, y'all. So hard. I thought she was talking to another, like a dude. Like, you know, I could tell it wasn't a dude because of the voice, you know, the tone in the voice. However, you couldn't have convinced me otherwise that it wasn't a dude. She had a mouth like a man, cussing like a sailor, as they used to say. Cussing so hard. And she wasn't cussing at another woman her age. She wasn't cussing at a grown man. She was cussing at the little kids. Cursing at the kids. Now listen, I don't think it's very feminine of women to have mouths like men from the jump. All right. But it's another thing when you start talking to children as if they're adults. All right. When you don't have the word of God says, out of the mouth flows the abundance of the heart. All right. When you can't think of nothing else to say, nothing better to say than MF and F bombs and B's and all this other stuff, and you're talking to children, that shows me where your head is. All right. But that would be the sister that will be the first to tell you, oh, I'm a queen. Oh, I know I'm a queen. Oh, I love the Lord. Yes, I do. Pseudo Christian woman. Number 2, y'all, I had this wonderful, rich experience. Y'all, listen, here in Dallas, Texas, I love living in Dallas, Texas. I really do. Went to AT&T Stadium to a football game. And, you know, I was just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Having a good time in the stands, right? Sitting down. All of a sudden, I got this hint of weed. I'm like, dang, why is this so strong? Like, what? Who is blazing? Y'all remember that 80s movie, a 90s movie, Cheech and Chong and them? I thought they was pulling up. I thought they had pulled up. Like, what up? No, it wasn't them. I looked around, lo and behold, there was this chick, had a head full of weave with a jacket on. And it was just like, you know, it wasn't a mighty Russian wind like the Holy Ghost. It was a mighty Russian wind of cannabis. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was either cannabis, purple haze, something like that, one of them. And I'm like, yo, listen, why do we get in these spaces and we think it's okay, like can't nobody smell it? We think it's okay to come up, showing up to places smelling like weed. And I told y'all in the description, I was going to mention Dior, Chanel, Tom Ford, all that. Yeah, don't smell like that. Unfortunately, a lot of pseudo Christian women don't smell like Dior, don't smell like Coco Chanel, don't smell like Tom Ford. They smell like cannabis or purple haze. I'm like, listen, somebody asks you, oh, what is that you're having? What is that you're wearing? Oh, that smell. Oh, that's that cannabis. I got it from old dude off the block. Listen, you're supposed to get your fragrances from like Amazon, the drug or the department store, something like that. You shouldn't get your hint or your aroma from old dudes selling a dime bag on the block. All right. But unfortunately, and this is the hard truth, this is what we're having. This is what a lot of pseudo Christian women who say they love the Lord, this is what they smell like. But we will swear up and down, hey, I'm a queen. I'm a queen. Thirdly, the third thing that will disqualify you is wearing bonnets in public. Wearing bonnets in public. Now listen. Let me look this up. Me personally, I don't like being called a queen. It panders to that stereotype. Oh, you better say a word, Celine. You better say a word. Say a word today. Listen, bonnets. Now, I know a lot of people get frustrated, and there's a lot of black women who refuse to speak up on this stuff because we are so savage sometimes to where we will counsel out our own and we will eat our own. When Monique spoke up about wearing bonnets in public, council culture just had their way with her. Oh, counsel Monique, this, that, and the other. But did you ever stop to think that Monique was right? Did you ever stop to think, you know what? Monique might have a point. She might have a point. It's like, now listen, if you notice with queens wear tiaras, all right? They wear tiaras, all right? But it seems as if we have traded in, our women have traded in pseudo Christian, I'm gonna say it again, pseudo Christian women have traded in their tiara for bonnets. Say, you know what? Hey, listen, give me a deal. I don't want this nice shiny thing. I don't want that. Go and give me the old raggedy bonnet. All right. And what I'm gonna do is I'm not only just gonna wear it in the house. I'm gonna go outside the house. I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna go to your neighborhood drugstore. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna pull up in the church parking lot with it, pull it off or whatever. Maybe. I'm gonna go pick up my kids on the bonnet. And here's the worst. I will travel from state to state, city to city, coast to coast with a bonnet on my head in the airport. I'm sorry, y'all. There's no way you can tell me that wearing a bonnet, pajamas, and house shoes in an airport is acceptable. And we're just supposed to treat you, oh, well, you know, don't judge. Yeah, you know what? One of the things that really bothers me is that it seems like it's in our culture that we will fight like hell to fail. We will be hell bent to reserve our right to fail. Like, you know what? Nope. Can't nobody beat us at failing. Oh, you want to fail? I'm going to beat you, failing. We fight to fail every day in life. And we say, oh, you know what? Don't judge. That whole don't judge thing, that's a whole bunch of, listen, we have a video on this channel talk about only God can judge me. People who fall back on that whole moniker of only God can judge me, where Tupac was making a lie, only God can judge me. That's not the truth. Really, what you're doing when you say only God can judge me, what you're saying is, you know what? I don't want nobody to say nothing about what I'm doing. I don't want to be held accountable for my actions. I just want to do me. I just want to live life on my terms. And you know what? Don't judge me. Only God can judge me. You're not even thinking about God. And if you really know God, you would know that he has already judged you, and it's in his word. He's already judged you in his word. And you think that's a good thing, that only God can judge you. He knows your thoughts coming before you even think them. All right. So this whole only God can judge me. Yeah, y'all can miss me with that. Listen, I'm actually going to drop a participation line or whatever. I'm not done yet. All right. I'm not done. I'm going to drop it in the chat so y'all can hop on and join me in this, and we can have a dialogue. I'm gonna finish up with this monologue first, but then I want some people to actually jump on. Particularly, I can have a dude jump on with me, but I really want some sisters to jump on with me, so that we can have this discussion, so that they can see, hey, listen, it ain't just the men that are outraged about this, it's the women as well. All right. And lastly, what up, Dre? How you doing, bruh? Good to see you. Because listen, the fourth thing that can disqualify you as a queen is being quarrelsome. Y'all, listen, we live down here in the South, and I'm not going to name the particular school, but we have issues where fights go on in high schools. Tons of fights go on in high schools. And you would think, hey, you know what? Dudes, boys will be boys. They will be combative. They will, try to show off their bravado and stuff like that. Now, most of the incidents that involve fights in high school are the girls. You heard me. The girls are the ones wreaking havoc. It's the women. It's the girls. Listen, this is bad, and I'm not gonna. Thank y'all. Y'all smash that like button. Click out the chat. Hit that like button, please, if you will. But listen, I'm not gonna dwell on this too long. But I have to say this. I was teaching a Bible study at our local church a few years back, and I was teaching teenage kids. It was black boys, black girls. You know what I'm saying? It was a mixed crowd or whatever, and mixed genders, whatever. All right, listen, boy and girl, male and female. That's who was there. All right, and so somehow or another, we got on the topic of dating. Y'all, this ain't beer. This is sweet tea, just in a beer mug. I really don't care. Somehow or another, we got on the topic of dating. All right. And the boys were like, man, I don't date black girls. I'm like, really, man? Why you don't date black? You black, you don't, not that, going outside is necessarily wrong or anything, but like, why is it that you don't date black women or black girls? Because we talking about teenagers. Like, man, cause they all mean. I was like, wait a minute. Hold up, son. That can't be all mean, right? It can't be all the girls in your school. It can't be all of them, right? It can't be. It was like, yeah, the ones that he liked. Yeah, there was a lot of them. And I was like, why don't you like them? He said they're all mean and they act like dudes. They're all aggressive. They're always being combative. They always want to argue and things like that. And I'm like, wow, that is a trip. Like, and you know what? And I thought it was just him, but it was like a chorus, like all of them came in unison. Yeah, bruh, that's how we feel. And I'm like, yo, and even the girls in the class, they co-sign like, yeah, that's how they are. And it was a very disheartening moment. It was very disheartening. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. this is the state of the world. This is the state of our culture. This is the state of our ethnicity. You know, even within the church. Like, yeah, that's how it is. I don't date, the black women. I date the Hispanic chicks. I'm like, why? Say, well, because they're nice. They act feminine. And they, like I said, they treat me nice. They don't always worry about all the materialistic stuff. They don't always worry about me wearing the latest J's. They just accept me how I am, and I could just be comfortable and be the dude around them. I'm like, wow, that's fascinating. And you know what? That led me to Proverbs 21:9. If y'all are familiar with this passage, you might want to get familiar with it. Proverbs 21:9 says that it is better to live on a corner of a rooftop than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. It's better to live on a corner of a roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Listen, we're not raising, well, first of all, I know that, we need to do a better job of raising men to be men, but we never look at the women and say, hey, listen, we're going to teach our women how to be wise. We're going to teach them not to be so combative, not to be so aggressive, to be feminine in nature. But those four things, I don't want to stay on that point too long. Those four things are the things that will disqualify you from being a queen. And the truth of the matter is, does your ethnicity make you a queen? Does you being a certain hue automatically put you in the category of being a queen? Y'all already know how I feel.
I hit my knees and I tell to Jesus, they tryna blame me cause I'm in the league. I'm really a savage at war with the reaper. That's why I can't hear, can't speak no evil. I hit my knees and I tell to Jesus, they tryna blame me cause I'm in the league. I'm really a savage at war with the reaper. That's why I can't hear, can't speak no